right, it is 5:15-ish on May 21st, 2024. I will call the meeting to order. Ashley, will you do roll call, please?
Roll call Lindberg.
Here.
Shaben.
Here.
Kroger.
Is she still on, Jean?
She is. Sharon, do we have connection? Looks like you're unmuted and we're unmuted.
I just see the new icon go.
Oh, yeah, these turned down or off. She didn't say anything in the other meeting either, too, so.
I can check one real quick and test here.
Yeah, she had just messaged me saying she's going to reconnect, having some audio issues.
Kelly.
Yes.
Right here.
Peterson.
Here.
You want to give her a minute to see if she comes back on, or?
Yeah, we'll see if she rejoins, but you could continue, Mayor,
Okay.
if you do have a quorum.
All right, we've all received the agenda. I don't think there are any changes, additions, subtractions. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Lindberg, second by Peterson.
Roll call Lindberg.
Aye.
Shaben.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Any conflicts, state them now or along the way. Moving on to the consent agenda. These are all under one motion, under one roll call. We have the minutes, the famous May 7th, 2024 council meeting, chaired by Mayor Pro Tem Shaben. Claims list number 1314 in the amount of $101,569.08. Expenditure and revenue reports for the month of April 2024. Sheriff's report for April 2024. A renewal application for Landon Xavier Trent LLC doing business as Bucksnort for a Class C retail alcohol license. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Peterson, second by Shaben.
Roll call Lindberg.
Aye.
Shaben.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, barely. But I can hear you. Can you hear us? Or me? Maybe. Sharon, are you there?
She tricked us.
I'm just gonna get off for today. Sorry.
We can hear you yet, Sharon. Are you still there, Sharon?
Yep.
Let me
Yes.
try one other setting here. Do you want to try to speak now? We'll just go back to this. Do you want to try again, Sharon?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we'll just keep you on that setting.
Okay, very good. Sorry about that.
Nope, no problem. We're at other business. A, Resolution 2567, amending the fiscal year 23-24 annual budget by adopting budget amendment number 1. Is that something, do you want to address that, Ashley? Is there anything that?
We just had, for revenues, there were some revenues that weren't added in the initial budget. And we had an increase in airport fuel sales. And then for expenses, we also had increased airport fuel purchases to go along with the fuel sales. Increase in insurance
Okay.
was another big expense. And then airport projects,
Okay.
so.
Anybody have any discussion, questions about amendment number 1, resolution 2567? Is there a motion to approve resolution 2567?
Motion.
Second. Motion by Lindberg, second by Shaven.
Roll call Lindberg,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kroger,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
B is resolution 2568, approving the unbudgeted transfers stated in the fiscal year 23-24 amendment number 1. A motion to approve resolution
Motion as well.
2568.
Second.
Motion by Lindberg, second by Shaven.
Roll call Lindberg,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kroger,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
C is action regarding a 2-year fuel bids for fiscal year 24-25 and 25-26. We got some
Jay,
information.
I'm going to abstain from this one.
Okay, thank you.
Every 2 years, we go out for fuel bids, and this was done in the past 30 to 45 days. We have 2 bids, Agriland FS and FSC. We are presently with Agriland FS. The bids were included in your packet, and there was 1/100th of a cent difference in those bids. Although Agriland FS was the 1/100th of a cent higher, that 95% of our fuel use is at that rate, and based upon our fuel use, 15,000 gallons a year would be the net difference of $15. Based upon some other factors such as accessibility to the fuel pumps, proximity to the fuel pumps at Agriland FS, the ease of access for our equipment, and then lastly, just the fact that the administration and cards are all set up. Our recommendation is to stay with the current provider at that net difference of $15 a year is our recommendation.
Okay,
I'll make that motion, Rick. Second.
motion by Lindberg, second by Peterson.
Roll call Lindberg,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Item D is receive and file the Streets, Alleys, and Sidewalks Committee meeting minutes from May 14th of 2024. Is there a motion to,
Just adopt the minutes, right?
just to adopt the minutes, yeah.
Motion that.
Motion by Lindberg, second by Shaven.
Roll call Lindberg,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kroger,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
And then out of that meeting is ordinance, first reading, ordinance number 2024-02, amending chapter 65.01 in the code of ordinances of the city of Harlan pertaining to stop signs. Changes would include McKinley Avenue, vehicles traveling north on McKinley Avenue shall stop at Garfield. On Franklin Avenue, vehicles traveling south on Franklin should stop at Garfield. And on Morse Avenue, vehicles traveling south on Morse Avenue shall stop at Garfield.
Motion to approve that.
Is the first reading? Anybody, any concerns? Anybody reached out?
Yeah, so this is the first reading. Consistent with your past practice, I would offer that you, there's no time sensitivity with this, and for that reason, I would at least take it to a second reading, the June 4th
Okay.
meeting. Had some great discussion at the Streets and Alleys meeting, so appreciate those who could be at that committee meeting. And for those in the public, we pulled the map up that we reviewed, and the catalyst or background to this is actually, it was a comment shared at a recent Board of Adjustment hearing that on McKinley Avenue, it's this, this sign here, traveling north, as you can see, these are all T intersections going into Garfield, and this abuts the north side of the hospital and the healthcare system, also the ambulance area. Historically, there's not been stop signs at those 3 T intersections, and although traffic law is you have to yield to your right, we felt it was prudent because of that area to recommend stop signs being put there. And so those are those 3 locations. Historically, they haven't been there, yet we felt, based upon some discussion about Board of Adjustment and just some more study by staff, that that's why that recommendation came forth.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second, so motion by Kelly, second by Lindberg to adopt the first reading ordinance 2024-02.
Roll call Lindberg.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Item E is review the fireworks display and street closing permit for July 4th, 2024. This is down at JJ, correct, Gene?
Down at JJ, it's the same area as previously or historically where the display has been hosted, and then the lower road, which we call it the lower road at JJ there that goes into the fairgrounds, that area is closed for public safety and allow the pyrotechnics and fire departments and such to be down there. So it's same area, same practices in the past. No issues on staff's end.
Is this the same group that's done it as far as fireworks in the past? Different?
I believe so. I believe it's the same vendor, but I can't say that for certain.
Is the same gentleman that came in.
Okay.
Thanks, Don.
Give me a motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Shaven, second by Lindberg.
Roll call Lindberg.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Item F is consider the appointment of a council member for Ward 3. We did meet with a gentleman who showed some interest to fill Gina Rudolph's spot. She moved out of town. Had a nice discussion with him. Anybody want to have any more discussion or a recommendation?
Go ahead, Gene.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say the fact, from meeting him earlier, the applicant, he shows, good faith and the willingness to want to learn and adapt, and as stated earlier, we don't have a lot of people knocking on our doors, so I believe it's a learning curve. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions, but, with the guidance of Gene and Ashley and the team and, the fellow council members, I guess I would make a motion that he be appointed to Ward 3 representative for a June 4th first meeting, official swearing.
Did you say a name?
Aaron Nipper, I'm sorry.
I didn't say the name, sorry.
I didn't say, were we not supposed to say the name?
Cloak of darkness
Yeah.
to silence.
Yeah, no. No, he answered, he had good questions, and Richard, you were here for it, but he's got the willingness to learn. He works at REC, and I think Gene's had some good conversation. You can probably elaborate more on that and that too with him in reference, and to fulfill the seat until 2025 or until re-election.
Okay, there's a motion to,
Second.
motion by Lindberg, second by Shaven to appoint Aaron Nippert to Ward 3 to council seat.
Roll call Lindberg.
Aye.
Shaven.
Aye.
Kroger.
Aye.
Kelly.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Your office will probably reach out to him then, Gene, to let him know.
Yep, we'll connect back with him and provide him some
Give him some
onboarding information.
some
And
brief information to study up on for the next meeting.
Memorize the budget book.
Yeah. He's in charge of budget, so basically.
Good deal.
In charge of that committee. Well,
Gotta pass along our appreciation for showing up and
Yeah.
welcoming the board.
Very true.
okay, moving right along to the city administrator's report.
Well, happy Tuesday, the 21st. It's been quite 18 hours that our communities have experienced, and that's following, again, what was a lot of impact on April 26th, and it just seems like Mother Nature has continued to provide us some challenges, and I say the last 18 hours has been a great stress test for some of our drainage and runoff areas. 5 inches of rain, give or take, that's significant in a short amount of time. So it's been, I know, across the county and certainly here in the city, following up on a lot this morning. Just a few highlights from that. With the Lake George, Little George is drains pretty much everything from northwest Harlan, eventually makes its way down there. And that was at its peak this morning. There was some spillover, and just with extra precaution, because of some potential forecasted rains this afternoon, which we didn't get a significant amount this afternoon, that we did pump. We took a fire truck down there and actually hooked up, and we're pumping about 800 gallons a minute out of the Lake George to the drainage ditch to the south to catch the Nishnabotna. That provided, I didn't get the final count, but we figured about 2 to 3 hours. That was 100,000, 150,000 gallons taken out of Little George for capacity. A lot of washouts, gravel washouts. I know the county's dealing with some more significant areas than that, but we'll get those cleaned up over the next day or two. And some other runoff areas that we have an area north of town by the racetrack, been out to a few times today, that between some limbs and branches and corn stalks, it was backing up. And we've already been in touch with the DNR and the landowner on that. So all in all, things went acceptable. I think good. It was, I guess, good or bad. The fact the heavy amounts were overnight. So our above ground drainage down 6th Street, I can only imagine how deep that may have been at 3 or 4 o'clock this morning. As we know, we've got fewer intakes and we don't have a strong drainage system down 6th Street. But say all in all there, it has played out well. For example, the public swimming pool was at its brink and overflowing a bit, so we actually had to pump some off of that. And again, you can contrast that to the past few years in which we were doing all we could to conserve water, and time refill and such is just quite a difference on the reverse end of that. So, speaking of the April 26th tornado, I'm sure Todd will speak to this, and I'll let him speak to more about the event next Tuesday. Yet, over the last weekend, it was a week ago, that there was a group of community members working very closely with some government agencies, and I'm not going to name anyone because you're going to forget someone or some group, that over a period of 96 hours the previous weekend put together a very powerful call to action to the state and mostly federal officials that really helped push it over the hump to get it more quickly and a disaster declaration and to get federal assistance here. FEMA showed up just last week. But again, shout out and kudos to that group of community volunteers. And it spanned a lot of disciplines and functions and subject matter experts, a couple of students, but worked tirelessly for 96 hours and that was the culmination of that was what got put out on social media, broadcast statewide with that 3 to 4 minute video and also a storyboard. So I don't want that to go unnoticed. I'm sure that will be highlighted next week, and Todd can speak to that. Some project updates. Do just a quick overview here. Thanks to Troy getting the welcome signs going. Saying a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but if you come down by Bandy's coming into the south entrance of town, you will see that footing and foundation is poured with the framework for the new sign. All of the earthwork and grading and the stakes have been set to get the footing poured on the north sign. A little wet right now, but things are progressing well on the welcome signs. That's exciting. The 4th and Main Bridge That is complete. We did a final walkthrough with the contractor last week. We will officially open it probably sometime later this week or next week. We do have the sign pulled off the side so it, the vehicle can go across, but it's a little soft on the north side, so there's more compaction and settling that has to happen there, but overall that is in a nice state. We are at the airport this morning to do a walkthrough on the three most recent hangar doors, and that was a good and bad final walkthrough, so more to come on that as the airport commission next week meets next Tuesday. But the good is that there are 3 new power doors and some new concrete on the inside, and that all doors themselves are nice. Yet there's water inside all 3 hangars. With a 5-inch rain, don't know exactly the direction, so that's an area of concern because there's supposed to be positive flow from the new concrete, and more to come on that. So, and part of that may be some future, because that taxiway hasn't been improved. You have a lot of drainage issues with flat areas out there. But there's some good and bad with that project, so more to come with that. The did not have an update midday, and I don't know, there was supposed to be a regular inspection from the DNR at our wastewater plant today, just part of regular inspection. Don't know if that took place or not since this morning.
He did come in and it went well.
They did, okay.
Yep, so.
So DNR had an inspection, and we have a 40-plus-year-old plant that looks like it was built in the last 5 or 10 years, and the team does a really strong job out there, so it sounds like that inspection went well. In addition to that, some unfortunate news that Tim Gessert, who's our wastewater superintendent, been serving us for either assistant or in a superintendent capacity, has submitted his resignation. So we posted that internally, and it does require a grade 3 operator. We do have one individual qualified internally for that position. But Tim will be working through the 29th of this month, and will make himself available for any other transition and support after that. So just an announcement on that. And the last couple items I have, I wanted to comment on back to the streets and alleys meeting. Ken thought it had some great discussion with that committee. 2 topics that, one was a general update that the Wellness Alliance, with one of the pillars called the Feel Better Committee, has continued to work on public art options and installations. They're currently targeting for a fall time frame, likely in mid to late September, to have some downtown crosswalk art completed on 4 crosswalks. There's been some initial student designs. More planning will take place over the summer. Yet could be some nice new highlights in public art in the community, and continue to keep the elected body and other entities aware of that. And then the second was, had some good robust discussion regarding downtown parking. And I see maybe a few smiles around the table, and I'm going to steal the mayor's thunder on this one. Yet what a great problem they have with some downtown parking issues. And there's not an easy quick fix, and it ebbs and flows with either the time of day or the areas of businesses. And from a enforcement and resource, I think our collective, the collective takeaway was that we'll continue to monitor it. And I forget who had made the comment that just being good communicators and good neighbors about parking needs, and encouraging also, and most of the business owners I think have done a good job with having, getting the message to their staff to use the city parking lots or not the highly concentrated areas, to free those up for patrons. So again, good discussion. As individuals have complaints or concerns, certainly stop in City Hall. We'll discuss that with you, or we can work with our code enforcement if there needs to be some targeted areas, and that's how we can approach those. So, and I welcome any comments from you. I certainly wanted to highlight that for the whole council as well as those in the public, that it's not a simple quick fix, but again, to the mayor's point, it's a good problem to have. versus an empty ghost town and boarded up windows.
Yeah, and I would just add on to that, it doesn't take long for a storefront, if it's vacant, to either be rented or sold. I mean, there are people that want to be downtown. And years ago, that was not a thing. There were lots of empty storefronts, and you go through lots of communities in the state of Iowa, there are lots of downtowns that have open, empty storefronts that we don't have that problem. We have people that want to be there and be a part of the downtown square, which I think is a great thing. And like I said, it's a daily conversation. Parking, and I smile and listen, and most people don't know I'm a business owner, but I also live there. But the mayor, I listen to all of it, and I'm happy to listen. And it's not, we have the ordinances in place. It's just how strict we want to be with people that live there, people that work there, and I go back to be courteous. Be courteous to your neighbors. We're in a small town. Just talk to somebody. Ask them, hey, I noticed so and so's parking there, whatever. And I think that goes a long way where we live. So, but yeah, my son Nick reminds me every day about parking. That's okay. I listen every day to my son Nick. So.
The final two items I have, tomorrow, actually the HMU board is meeting a day ahead of normal, but one of the items for consideration on the HMU agenda, and I've had some dialogue with Joe and Jenny as well, that they're looking, there's a policy change consideration on their write-offs and collections that will have some trickle-down effect or trickle effect with the landfill and sewer, that HMU bills and collects for those services, which has historically been done. Yet due to some, I guess I won't speak for them, but with the policy change after 60 days, it would be those sewer and landfill accounts would then be turned over to the city for future collection. That was done that way. We've done some further review this afternoon, Ashley and I, that we've got some communications back in the mid-2000s in which the city was doing those collections after HMU was unsuccessful. And I, just through some initial conversations, there may be, or we'll do some more research that may collectively, or may improve the process, and possibly even with HMU possibly. So more to learn there, but expect in the next 60 days, prior to maybe when some of those first accounts get turned over, and the estimate's like 5 to 7 a month, maybe higher in some months and lower in others, but on average, is that right, Jenny?
Yeah, and April 1 is gonna probably be,
And end of the winter?
60 days after April 1st will be your highest month, because that's when YKeep's over.
Right. So over the next month, we'll need to stand up some processes and be sure we've got a policy adopted. Some of that will mimic maybe some other communities as well as HMU is doing. So, and then so more to come on that. And then lastly, it's the second meeting of the month, so I want to recognize again any anniversaries, new hires. And we do have one anniversary to recognize this month, and Dina Jacobson, who is with the library, celebrating 5 years with the library, and that was on May 9th. So congratulations to Dina and her years of service towards our library. And that's all I have tonight.
Thanks, sir.
Any questions, comments?
Anybody? No? Thanks, Gene. Under my report, I think Troy took all the thunder last time, I guess. He got all the good stuff. So I just have one thing to take care of tonight for my report.
You don't see as good as you do.
I'm recommending reappointing Allison Mans to the Tree Advisory Environmental Commission for a term to expire in May 16th of 2027. A motion and a second for that.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Peterson, second by Kelly. Sorry, Troy.
Sorry, Troy.
Roll call: Lindberg,
Aye.
Shaven,
Aye.
Kroger,
Aye.
Kelly,
Aye.
Peterson.
Thank you. Next up, Todd Deline, Shelby County Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Report.
Good evening.
Todd.
Good evening, Todd.
As Gene was mentioning, over the last few days, event's been put together for next Tuesday evening, the 28th. It's going to be held at Veterans Memorial Auditorium. and it's a tornado relief and resources open house. So this is actually going to have 3 aspects to it. First of all, thank you to the Shelby County Cattlemen, because they're going to come and cook up some burgers and have some chips and drink for everybody who comes. This is open to the public, so please come. The first aspect is going to be, we're going to have federal and local agencies there, and they're going to be able to, anybody who wants to can discuss with them needs or questions regarding ways that they've been impacted by the storms and what type of relief they can get. I mean, I've already seen this morning additional impacts out in the rural areas from last night's storm, so it just continues to grow. Also, we're going to have an opportunity to recognize all of those group volunteers and all those group activities that took place right after the storm and over the preceding week and a half to 2 weeks, give them some recognition. And then finally, we'll just remind people we're still collecting dollars to help with relief, some donations for the victims. I did hear something this weekend that I want to clear up. I had somebody just ask me a quick question about how they could donate directly to somebody instead of going through the Shelby County State Bank program that we have set up. And when I asked them why they wanted to do that, they said they were sure there would be administrative fees taken out of it. And I said, well, no, there's not. Shelby County State Bank and Shelby County Community Foundation are donating all of their efforts and all of their time. Every single penny donated will go towards the victims. So just want to make sure people are aware of that. In addition to that, this Thursday, we have the Shelby County Candidate Forum that's going to be at 6:30 at the Harlan Community High School. That'll be for the offices of Shelby County Auditor and Shelby County Supervisor. A reminder that the Harlan citywide garage sales, the deadline to get your ads in the paper are the 29th, if you want to have ads in the paper for the garage sale. And then also on the 29th is the 31st Annual National Senior Health and Fitness event over at the Peterson Wellness Center. We'll have a lot of different activities for people to do, a lot of snacks, giveaways, resources. This is sponsored by the Peterson Family Wellness Center, the Aquatic Complex, and R2 Medical, and it's free admission for all people 50 years and over. They've been doing this for multiple years, and it's always a great event. It goes over really well. And then finally, just a reminder that we still have another fundraising concert coming up Friday, June 7th, down at the fairgrounds. Mighty Mayhem will kick the night off at 6, and Tyler Claver with Cosmic Jade will also perform. They'll have food and beverages down there, so don't bring any type of your own, please. And then you can get the tickets online at the Shelby County Fair website. So that's what we got going on right now.
Go Tivoli Fest this weekend?
Pardon?
Is it Tivoli Fest this weekend?
Tivoli Fest is this weekend, yep. And down in Elkhorn. And there are a couple of other events taking place in and around, so a lot going on.
It's good to be busy.
It's getting really busy, actually. Our Did You Know is almost getting to be too long of an email to send. I feel bad sending that much information out. I don't want to tie it
Bombard.
But there's a lot of stuff going on.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and the weekend after that, Log Cabin Days, Log Cabin Days, and Day on Sunday at Pioneer Park as well.
And our Wellness Alliance will be there with our infamous watermelon popsicles for everybody to enjoy.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you.
Harlan Municipal Utilities, Joe Ruschenberg. Can I talk about closing all the wells down, right? So much water, you don't know what to do with it now?
Yeah. But I will give updates on both the water project and our electric overhead underground conversion project. As far as the update on the raw water system improvements project, McCarthy Trenching has three of the existing wells left to tie their service lines into the new water mains. So they're moving right along. Then they have approximately 700 to 800 feet of conduit left to bury. So they're kind of getting towards the end of their portion of it. One of their subcontractors, Holstein Electric, is done pulling fiber and electric in our south well field. They are planning on starting to switch wells over in that south well field over to our new fiber and electric controls this week if weather permits. Otherwise it'll be the following week. And that'd be kind of a slow process, but, we may be able to do 1-2 wells per day, possibly, probably more like 1 per day, included. HOA, which is a sub actually under Holstein Electric, with help from our telecom department, is starting to work on installation of our SCADA system that'll control the wells. And then we're looking at likely holding a special board meeting in the next couple weeks to approve a change order for conversion of well 35 from a shallow to a deep well, is what we're thinking. Just kind of looking to see kind of a timeline. Otherwise we'll hold off till the next regular board meeting too. Update on overhead to the underground electric conversion project. LFI/Burns Electric is almost done pulling existing poles. I think they got about 5 left, which would be the ones that we had some MediaCom still attached to. Otherwise, I think we got pretty much everything else pulled. They are working on replacing wood pole street lights and security lights to steel poles. And then their boring contractor is working on boring conduit along Highway 44. Weather-wise, I don't know if they'll get that finished. I think they're hoping to try to get that all in place by the end of this week. We'll see with the weather, how that slows them down. But they made good progress last week, boring along Highway 44. And then next, they plan on either moving to along Highway 59, kind of between Hawkeye and 900th Street in that area, or down Lyman subdivision, where the line construction is. There's some boring to do down there, so one of those 2 areas would be probably the next areas that they would move to after Highway 44. HMUs continues to work on easements for that project. So that's where we're sitting on those 2 projects. Any questions or comments? I think things are going good. I think the public's, especially with Burns Electric, the overhead to underground there, I mean, if there's been any issue with the public, I think that Burns Electric is a pretty good contractor, able to work with the public.
It's a good
A
thing.
lot of construction activity.
Did you want to mention our telecom department and the live streaming that they did over the weekend, and more events will be coming?
Yes.
That was
And we've
pretty
actually
exciting.
switched like our government channels or our local access channels. We're actually doing those in HD now, so.
Congratulations.
Chance to look at that.
Yeah, we did graduation live, we got a lot of good comments.
And we'll really notice this fall when we get into football, basketball again too, a lot of those, it was kind of, HD, I mean, it's just, wow, just kind of pops at you now. I mean, you really read the numbers on players, stuff like that, it's a big improvement.
Well, and the audio clarity was very good too. I would say,
Yes.
I mean, we're just for microphone chat in, like literally sitting in the bleachers and watching the graduation.
Right, and that was the thing, Jonathan had set one of our mics right down there on the podium so we could pick that up
Yeah.
instead of picking it up over the
Loudspeaker.
loudspeaker, so it kind of took some of the, not that it was real echoey, but I mean, it really cleared it up. So a lot of improvements, I mean, that Dots is making with the telecom department. A lot of things, and he's got a lot of good ideas too down the road, so we're really excited.
Technology's there, take advantage of it, right?
Yes, yeah, a lot of
deal.
good ideas. So,
Perfect.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Shelby County Sheriff's update. Sergeant Butler,
Captain Butler.
Captain.
Titles are for bonus. So for last month, we had 4 accidents, 15 citations, 65 traffic warnings, 9 arrests, no criminal mischiefs, no thefts, 283 contacts, 6 welfare checks, 10 residential or business alarms, and 3 animal complaints. We also had our jail inspection May 9th, which was all good. Congratulations to Kyle.
Hey, right. So
Keeping our jail up to standards, up and above standards. We did have one deputy resign. Wyatt Elliott is moving his family to Nebraska, so he resigned. We have replaced him with a local Harlan guy, Bradley Cope, will be starting next week for us. So he'll be uncertified, but move forward through that. So they'll go to the academy, we'll work on all those details. Questions? Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, Captain. Any comments from the public? Or anybody up here want to mention anything?
I would probably just put a simple plug, a reminder out for those who watch this in reference to storm alerts for signups, notifications. If you go out to, there's a couple different ways you can go out to, you can go to the Shelby County Emergency Management Facebook page, the Shelby County Sheriff's Office Facebook page.
The city of Harlan shared that
The city
this
of Harlan shared
afternoon.
that as well. Then also just the Shelby County website, Alert Iowa Smart 911. Basically, you can download the app on your smartphone. The link will follow you to sign up for Shelby County. Create an account. You can customize it basically to warnings, watches, police alerts, neighborhood alerts. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff configuration. You can do it via text message, email, phone call. It just seemed like we got a lot of reports that a lot of people weren't getting notifications. The National Weather Service does their own notification through cellular stuff, so that isn't controlled by the county. But if you do those smart 911s as a user of it for the last couple of years, it's very on time and it's real-time information. So, you know, to stay alert and stay ahead, like I said, it's fully customizable. So, and if you don't have internet access or a smartphone, you can call and contact into the Shelby County Emergency Management Association and give them your information, and they can register you in the database for you. Obviously, preferred method would be to do it online yourself to have that communication device, but that is an option as well too. So, just putting that plug out there for people to stay ahead of the weather and those type of notifications and work. So great. That's all I had.
That one follow you around by chance? So if you're driving around in the state somewhere, it can...
Correct. So you can set to your location to where you're at. So basically in the region, you know, if you're where you're at, I mean, or in Des Moines, I mean, basically if that local emergency is going to put out to that broadcast and see you in that area, it will tone you alert to your current area. Okay. So, I mean, you have to allow tracking some people. I mean, that's up to you if you want, but I mean, if you want to stay ahead of the game, you know, and it's not just weather. I mean, the police are doing something too. I mean, there's, I think probably 15, 16 different options and different warnings and watches and stuff that you can set up for. So if you want to be bombarded, you can set up for all of them. So
You can get Amber Alerts too.
Amber Alerts as well too, yeah. But just a disclaimer, not a disclaimer, but I mean, like, yeah, the National Weather Service can take over your cell phone, I mean, basically, but like for your Amber Alerts too as well. So, but there are settings, whether you're iPhone or Android or Google, that you can shut those down too. So people may want to check with your local carrier and provider to see if maybe if that's why you didn't get an alert here within the last 24 hours. So county does not control that. That's all I have.
You're a public spokesman.
I'm just, hey,
Great reminder.
public information and
Yeah.
education.
It's been
And
going
Mayor, I
on a
just want to
while.
comment, as Captain Butler was providing his report, this last report, or the report we got in your packet, was represented the full first complete year. So next month, for example, in our statistical report, your statistical report will show activity compared to a year ago at this time with our unification. And then the other item Captain and I were speaking about, and it more or less reinforces what we've experienced through this partnership over the last year. Certainly there have been some bumps in the road. That's quite common when you stand up a new relationship or business, yet the open communication and working through things. So for example, one item on the report, animal complaints. We found, again, people just getting accustomed to the roles, like even the comm center, knowing when to page and not page. That's kind of finding our groove in that regard, and it's been, I would say Sheriff Gross and the team have been quite responsive. So just appreciate that and their willingness to continue with partnership for Harlan and Shelby County. Additional comment, and you can look forward to that next report with the previous year stats. That's all.
Anybody else? Okay. Hearing none, meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.